and welcome to our podcast. There is a ghost in my closet. I'm Alice, and I'm joined with my other host, Carly.
Hi. Now join us while we dive into what wants to remain deep in the closet. Not.
That's a vocal stim at work. I love it. But I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. I'm very excited to be doing this episode for you guys today. If you couldn't tell, Carly got a haircut. Everyone say how hot she is.
I'm taking. Stop. I'm taking.
It's okay. I'll probably put like a. I'm all up for hyping up my friends, even if it sounds like I'm flirting with them. But you're used to it by now.
Yeah, I've known her for over 10 years. I'm used to
It's just
it.
one of those things.
Yeah.
The coffee we're drinking today is from our local coffee shop, Lizzie's, who still has our flyer up. So thank you very much for that. The Papa's homemade caramel latte, I think is what this is called. It's their August special. So
it's not too sweet. It's not too bitter.
It's really good. It's really good, you guys. If you're local, you need to go check that out. Yes. The episode we're giving you guys today is on the Stanley Hotel.
Dun dun dun.
I'm really excited to be doing this episode. We're doing the standalones a little bit differently. She's going to be doing the ghost experiences, and I'm going to be doing the history. So we're if you couldn't tell, we're testing stuff out. We're testing the waters with a lot of stuff because
we don't want to overwhelm ourselves too.
We also want to make better content for you guys, and the only way of doing that is trial and error. I feel like
money.
This lighting with my iPhone is already so much better than a freaking webcam. But dear God,
I'm not saying that I'm thinking of the money more. It's just it's so expensive for things.
People say money doesn't buy happiness. I think they're liars because they already have money.
That's the same people that buy yachts.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, I swear to God. That's my boyfriend's family. Like, I love my boyfriend to death. And he tries to be as modest as he can, but sometimes he'll walk into like Ross's or TJ Maxx or like an off marketplace, and he'll just be like, "Ugh," and I'm like, "So you just say you never had to worry about anything in your life."
Sam and Colby, they have like a $10 million net worth,
something like that. It's freaking crazy.
The thing is, they were always taught to not
give
spend
back
much.
And
give back and not spend much.
I'm very grateful and happy where I am now and what I have now. But sometimes it just would be nice.
Yes, it would be nice.
Load.
Be nice to be loaded.
Alrighty. So, and as usual, bubblegum is all hidden by the cup. Yes. But you can see her with a little candle on her head.
Say hi to bubblegum.
You have to say hi to bubblegum, or she will appear at the end of your bed at 3 a.m. singing Chapel Roan.
And also Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to do the introduction, then she's going to get into the history, and why it is haunted, and then I'm going to do the personal experiences afterwards. Okay, let me open up my stubborn-ass phone. It loves to mess with me every time I do an episode. Every time. It'll always...
Well, my mic loves to mess with me. This is my second time charging it. We haven't used these in a while, to be fair, though, so...
Yeah, and I'm surprised you still have them.
I just kept them just for instances like this where our mics our other ones were fucking up, or if we had to like...
Even if we got really expensive ones, they still would mess up.
Yeah, they would. I just think that, this is more compatible for the camera system we're using right now because it has a USB-C.
That's true.
So, we gotta use what we got.
Yeah. Alright. Welcome back, ghouls and gals, to another spooky episode.
Oh, boo, bitch.
Boo, bitch. Now, tonight we're heading deep into the mountains of Colorado to a beautiful white hotel overlooking Estes Park. This is where Estes Method got its name, by the way, if you don't know.
I'm pretty sure this is also the first place the Estes Method was, like, performed.
That is true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is true. A place that looks innocent enough during the day, but has developed a reputation for being one of America's most famous haunted hotels. We're talking about the Stanley Hotel. Built in 1909, the Stanley has welcomed wealthy vacationers, celebrities, travelers, and eventually one of the most famous horror writers in the world, Stephen King. And according to the stories, the hotel has welcomed a few guests who were never exactly alive to begin with. There are reports of phantom piano music, mysterious footsteps, voices coming from empty rooms, apparitions wandering the halls, and one particularly famous room where ghosts claim a former housekeeper still takes care of the hotel. So tonight we're going to uncover the history of the Stanley, the tragedy that helped create its haunted reputation, Stephen King's terrifying stay, and some of the strangest experiences reported by guests and staff. But as always, we'll leave it up to you to decide. Is the Stanley Hotel actually haunted? Or are the stories simply the result of a very old building, a very vivid imagination, and a whole lot of history? Let's find out.
Some hotels promise unforgivable memories. The Stanley Hotel promises something more: stories whispered through empty hallways, footsteps with no owner, and a history that refuses to stay buried. Tonight, we're opening the door to discover what it is about the Stanley Hotel that wants to remain in the closet. Now, as normal, I have my bullet points up for it, and this is still a very beautiful hotel. Um, the Stanley Hotel sits in Estes Park, Colorado, at the entrance to Rocky Mountain National Park. It was built by inventor Freeland Oscar Stanley, co-creator of the famous Stanley steamer automobile. In 1903, Stanley traveled to Estes Park suffering from tuberculosis. After spending a summer in the mountain air, his health improved dramatically. Inspired by the beauty of the area, he decided to build a luxury resort unlike anything in the Rocky Mountains. The hotel officially opened in 1909 and was considered incredibly modern for its time. It featured electricity throughout the building, indoor plumbing, telephones in public rooms, elegant Georgian, however you pronounce, I'm so dumb, architecture, fine dining, and live music. It quickly became a destination for wealthy travelers and celebrities. Presidents, artists, and notable public figures all visited during the early 1900s. So, there isn't much during the build of the hotel or why the hotel was built. This guy literally just had like a near death experience, and he was wealthy. He decided to build a residence on top of the land. However, that still does not stop the hotel from being dramatically haunted, or at least having speculations. Unlike many hotels, the Stanley wasn't built on the site of a famous massacre or catastrophic fire. Its haunted reputation grew gradually through guest experiences, local legends, and later its connection to Stephen King. I myself am a huge Stephen King fan. Like, I've never finished any of his books, but I just love the way he writes, and I love his writing style. And I've seen
Red
Ram. Yeah, that's what that movie is based. This is the hotel. Is what that movie is based off of.
Mm-hmm.
Room 217. This is the hotel's most famous room. In 1911, a powerful gas explosion occurred after housekeeper Elizabeth Wilson entered room 217, carrying a lit candle while gas had accumulated following a storm-related power outage. Miraculously, she survived the explosion and continued working at the hotel for many years. Today, guests claim that clothes are folded while they're being put away, shoes are neatly arranged, lights switch on and off, and some report being gently touched while sleeping. Believers believe Elizabeth is simply continuing to care for her guests. Oh, that's just sweet. Um, the fourth floor. The fourth floor is considered one of the most active paranormal areas. Visitors report children laughing, running footsteps, doors opening by themselves, whispering voices, and toys moving unexpectedly. Historically, this floor housed nannies, servants, and children during the hotel's early years, which may believe explains the reports of children's spirits. I can't deal with children's spirits. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not scared of them. Yeah. I just get overly sad. I'm just depressed while dealing with a child spirit because they never should have been treated like that.
It also depends on if it is a kid.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I get a little. I'm not even scared of demonic entities because I never let them have power over me. They're just unnerving to talk about and to deal with. They're really annoying to deal with as well. Moving on to Flora Stanley. Freeland Oscar's wife, Flora Stanley, was an accomplished pianist. Many guests claim they hear piano music coming from the empty room. Others report seeing a woman seated at a piano who disappears when approached. Now that will just creep me out. I can't do musical instruments playing by themselves. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. I'd rather take the dead children over pianos playing by themselves. Unless they're playing a good song, then I might join them. And then Freeland Oscar Stanley himself. Staff and visitors have long claimed to see the hotel's founder. He was reportedly seen standing in the lobby, walking through the billiards room, and watching guests before suddenly disappearing. And I'm pretty sure they also have a portrait of him, like on the grand staircase, like a huge portrait of him. It's kind of creepy looking. Some believe he's simply checking on the hotel he loved. Another really haunted room in this haunted hotel is the concert hall. Now, I'm not going to say too much more about the ghosts and spirits because that's up to you. That is your thing for this episode. But I am going to go into Stephen King's connection with the hotel. The Stanley Hotel became world famous because of Stephen King. The 1974 In 1974, King and his wife checked into the Stanley on the final night before the hotel closed for winter. They were nearly the only guests in the massive building. King wandered the empty hallways at night and dreamed that his young son was being chased through the corridors by a fire hose. And that is basically what started the whole concept of The Shining. That's all I have for the history. That's some of the reason why it's haunted. Because, like, I mean,
well, also, isn't the Stanley Hotel the ones that have like the mirrors facing one another?
Yeah, it's like a vortex. Yeah,
and also with how the staircase is, it's like one grand stair. If you look up photos of it, she might put up something right here to show you the staircase at the bottom. Right here in the middle. But it's like one staircase up, and then it splits into two going up once you kind of turn. And there's like mirrors facing each other. Even at the ends of the hallways, there's two big mirrors, one on each side, facing one another. So that's another portal. And so you don't know what spirits are coming out of those because it, facing them creates a vortex. Having a staircase like that it just makes it like a whole. Dude, just think of a tornado, and just think of like a big tornado like that.
It's basically Do you remember watching the Sam and Colby episode on it? Which I know we talk about them a lot, but they're the ones that inspired us to do this topic. They had a theory because with mirrors creating vortexes and there being a lot of vortexes in haunted places, they think that it's basically just one big supernatural train station where spirits can jump from place to place through said vortexes. And I think I believe in that theory because that would explain why like people with like places with vortexes are so haunted. It's because it's literally a supernatural train station for paranormal activity.
And also, it doesn't help that some people, I'm not saying Sam and Colby, some people do invite, certain entities that,
My mic just died again.
Oh goodness, they went to it twice, didn't they?
Yes, they did. My mic is giving me more trouble, guys. So, disclaimer: she's. I'm gonna be speaking a little bit loudly when I don't have the mic, but she's gonna let me share hers.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going on because like
it just died, but I was over my part anyway, so I won't need it for long.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you wouldn't like to reply. So now I have a lot like actual. This is like that's the history, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff. Like I'll go over Stephen King like she did, but I have more information on him. The Room 217, the piano lady, Laura Stanley's piano. And I don't really have much on the F.L. Stanley's, you know. But I mean, I can just go over like the room and like Stephen King because like I have a lot for that.
Yeah, you can just go more into depth of what I talked about. I mean, that's kind of what.
Yeah, like okay, this was in 74. 1974. Stephen King and his wife, Tabitha, stayed at Stanley. They arrived, like she said, near the hotel's season and according to accounts of the visit, found themselves among very few or possibly, by themselves almost. But imagine that in a huge historic hotel, long empty hallways, a mountain outside, and almost nobody around. Fucking creepy, ain't it? Especially if it's snowing, which it probably was. And it's in Colorado. Colorado. How do you guys say it? Colorado or Colorado? Hmm?
Colorado.
Colorado. I say both. I say just both just to mess with people. It's funny. Now, King explored the hotel and eventually spent the night in room 217, which I'm going to get in depth after this one. Um, that night became incredibly important to horror history. Like, if he didn't go, we wouldn't have The Shining at all. Um, the experience helped inspire King's novel The Shining, which was published in 1977, and then later on made into a movie. Red Rum, Red Rum. It's been a minute since I've watched that.
I've actually never seen The Shining.
Really?
Yes.
Goodness gracious. Okay.
That just reminded me of that Vine where it's, how do you keep your pants on while you're performing? It's incredible.
Belt. Belt. Okay, we need to sit down and watch The Shining.
Yeah, that'd be ooh, Halloween movie night? Question mark. You can get a little tipsy, drink a little wine, because it looks like blood.
We could be hot vampires this year.
Oh, I
Mm.
like that idea.
Now, the story of The Shining transformed the Stanley's reputation forever. Suddenly, people weren't simply visiting a historic hotel. They were visiting the place associated with one of the most famous horror novels ever written, and the hotel's haunted stories became even more famous. One important clarification for listeners: Stanley Kubrick's 1980 movie, The Shining, was not filmed at the Stanley Hotel, which it would have been good if it was. You know, the Stanley inspired the novel, but the movie's famous hotel exterior was filmed at Timberline Lodge in Oregon. The Stanley later became a filming location for the 1997 television miniseries adaptation of The Shining. Really? I didn't know they had that. What? Okay, now to go into room 217, which is the room they stayed at, which I would love to stay in that room. But the thing is, like, you would hear knocks and you would hear, like, certain noises from there.
Do you think the room was already haunted when Stephen King went? Because that is the place where he had that nightmare his son was being chased.
It could have been. That's what inspired the horror movie, though.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Still debatable if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if I saw a freaking two freaking girls standing at the end of the hallway or a freaking kid on a tricycle coming down that hallway, I'm sorry. I am punk kicking that little thing. I am punk kicking that thing. And then running my ass away. I'll kick it like a football. Now room 217, the most famous room. Um, this is the room where Stephen King stayed, but its haunted reputation actually goes back decades before King ever arrived. In 1911, a gas explosion occurred in room 217. The hotel had lost electrical power during a storm, and gas powered lighting was being used. A chambermaid named Elizabeth Wilson entered the room and was injured when the explosion occurred. She survived and reportedly continued working at the hotel afterward. Today, guests have reported seeing or sensing the presence of a woman associated with Wilson, and the stories about her are surprisingly specific. Some guests claim belongings have been moved, others say they have heard strange noises, some believe they have felt someone sitting on the edge of the bed, and one of the most popular stories is that Elizabeth Wilson continues doing what she did in life, taking care of the guest. Some visitors have claimed to find their belongings moved or their rooms mysteriously tidied, whether that's paranormal activity, coincidence, or simply part of the hotel's legend and impossible to prove. But it has become one of the Stanley's most famous ghost stories. So it's not bad, but it is still
That's what I heard.
It's still creepy.
That's what I heard from a lot of ghost investigations and people who go to investigate this place. The Stanley Hotel, even if there is possibly something malevolent there, it's not very common. The Stanley Hotels, they call it, or at least I call it this, the hotel for spirits also, or something like that, because every single spirit you encounter at the Stanley Hotel, more than likely, is just passing through or is just there. They're normally pretty nice. Like, this is a pretty benign place to go to when like investigating. Here's your mic back. I stole it.
Nah, you good. Reported experiences at the Stanley. It's important to say that these are reported experiences and paranormal stories, not scientifically verified evidence of ghosts. Still, they've been repeated by guest employees, investigators, and visitors over the years. Footsteps in empty hallways. One of the most common experiences involves hearing footsteps when nobody appears to be nearby. Visitors have described hearing footsteps walking through hallways, sometimes approaching them before seemingly disappearing. And that's especially creepy in an enormous historic hotel. Old buildings naturally make noises, wood expands and contracts, pipes bang, floors creak, winds move through the structure. But when you're standing in an empty hallway at night and hear footsteps coming toward you, your brain isn't exactly thinking about plumbing. I'm sorry, if I heard running towards me, yeah, no. Pew pew. Bye bye. Pepper spray.
Pepper spray with invisible footsteps.
Whoa, man!
Where are you?
Whoa, man, you're way too close. Pepper spray. The ghostly children.
Oh.
It depends on if they are children or not. That's the thing. One of the most famous legends connected to the Stanley involves children. Guests and visitors have reported hearing children's laughter and footsteps. Some paranormal stories even claim people have seen the apparitions of children running through the hallways. AKA also why there is a child on a tricycle, but also twins in blue dresses in the movie, standing at the end of the hallway. Yeah, no, thank you. The story became especially associated with The Shining, because of the image of the two ghostly girls in the novel in the movie. See, told you. I didn't even read that part. I'm just like, however, it's important to separate fiction from the hotel's actual history. The famous Grady twins are fictional characters created for The Shining. Reports of ghostly children at the Stanley are paranormal legends that developed around the hotel's reputation. They aren't evidence that the characters from the King story actually exist. You never know. The Phantom Party. Another famous story involves the hotel's McGregor Ballroom. Visitors have reported hearing sounds that resemble a party when the room isn't hosting one. Some stories describe hearing voices, laughter, music, or the sounds of people moving around. The particularly creepy part, when people investigate, they sometimes report finding the room empty. It's sometimes described as though the hotel is replaying memories of parties from its past. This is one of the stories that makes the Stanley particularly interesting from a paranormal perspective. Rather than seeing a ghost standing directly in front of you, you're supposedly hearing evidence of something that happened long ago. Now, what was I going to say? It's it's like it said. It's basically just replaying its past, and that's one thing because there are. Well, if you okay, I know this isn't real, but if you ever watched a supernatural episode, there's this one to where it's like by camera view instead of like ghost facers. You know those guys. Freaking there's this one where there's these spirits and they're just replaying their tragic. This like one guy got hit by a train, and then some other guy got shot down, which he was a mobster. He was replaying that. They both were, and then their friend died, and then he was replaying him getting stabbed in the neck. But the thing is, someone that's close to them, they would have to kind of talk to them to get him out of it. But if you think about like stuff like that, that's basically what's happening. It's replaying. Like if you're stuck there, if you died there, and you're stuck, and you let's say you went to a party there, it it'll replay. You never know. I mean, it can replay, it cannot. It can happen anywhere. It's not just the Stanley. It's in other places too.
Especially, I think it's especially with the Stanley though, because just of how many spirits there were there, and because of how many vortexes there were, there's probably multiple energies around there.
So yeah, it's attracting like different spirits, good spirits, bad spirits, midway spirits. Children. But yeah, it's now personal experiences from visitors. Now, over the years, guests have described a wide variety of strange experiences. Some have reported waking during the night because they felt someone was standing nearby. Others claim they've heard noises, oh, no noises, heard voices when nobody was in the room. There are also stories of doors opening or closing unexpectedly, objects being moved, and unexplained sounds coming from supposedly empty areas. Eh. Um, some visitors report feeling watched all the time. Others describe certain rooms or hallways as having a strange atmosphere. And then there are people who stay at the Stanley and experience absolutely nothing. That's worth mentioning. Not everyone who visits the Stanley sees a ghost. A bitch! I might be frightened, but I would love not to see a ghost, but to
Yeah.
experience something. But I ain't gonna do it alone.
Yeah, that's how I felt like at Fort Con. Like, they said the inn that I stayed at Fort Con, like, it's either you either experience something or you don't. Like, you just have to believe that it is if you want to experience anything.
Yeah, which we're staying there next year.
Yeah, we are.
I'm sorry, we're gonna stay there next year. I don't care what your boyfriend says.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna stay there again. We gotta stay there the entire time, or we can stay there for 1 or 2 nights. It doesn't matter. Now, in fact, visitors can spend, well, several nights there without experiencing anything obviously paranormal. A recent travel, uh, leisure account, I think this was this? Yeah, leisure account described a 3-night stay without a direct supernatural encounter despite participating in paranormal programming. And that's where the debate gets interesting. Paranormal investigations. The Stanley doesn't hide from its haunted reputation. In fact, paranormal investigation has become part of the hotel's modern identity. The hotel currently offers paranormal programming through the Overlook Project, which describes itself as a skeptical investigation into the hotel's supernatural legends. Participants can explore reportedly haunted locations using paranormal investigation equipment and techniques. The hotel also offers several out tours, including a historic tour, ghost tour, and the Shining tour. So whether you're a believer or a skeptic, the Stanley essentially invites you to investigate these stories for yourself. Now, you may be a skeptic, but if you experience something, I mean,
You're
you can always
definitely.
find different reasons. But if the reasons you think it is and it's not, and it's actually the fucking paranormal, shit, you'll be turned into a believer real quick. Friggin', I feel like some of those ghosts are like,
Yeah.
just want to mess with you so bad. There are some ghosts out there that will just do it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, okay, touch this if you're here. Be like, okay. Beep, 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 beep. Oh my
And that's
god.
that's what I would do if I was a ghost. I would just like fuck with the EMF reader just to fuck with you. Like that's the fun part. That's I all I literally got to do is walk around and people just go, "What the fuck was that?"
To be like, put my foot up to it. Beep, beep,
Someone
beep.
a ghost could literally be twerking on your face right now and you would never know. Just letting you guys know that. Just I hope you guys
Yeah.
know that information right now.
Mhm. Now, a lot of people, of course, there's skeptics and there's believers, but like some people think it's haunted. Some people just like, is it just because it's an old building? Um, Now, haunted or just old? I know she went over the haunted topic, but also this is kind of like haunted or just like an old building kind of
Yeah.
thing. But this is where we have to give the skeptics their moment. The Stanley is more than a century old. Old hotels make strange noises. Temperature changes can cause walls and pipes to creak. Wind can move doors. Electrical systems can malfunction. People can misinterpret ordinary sounds, especially when they're already expecting something paranormal. And once a location becomes famous for being haunted, people naturally become more alert to unusual things. If you walk into the Stanley expecting to hear footsteps, every creak suddenly sounds like footsteps. But believers would argue that some experiences can't be so easily explained, and that's the reason the Stanley remains so fascinating. There are stories that have been repeated for generations. There are personal experiences that visitors generally believe happened, and there are locations inside the hotel that have developed reputations all on their own. It's true. Now, my closing thoughts. Stanley Hotel is a strange combination of beautiful history and terrifying legend. It began as the dream of F.O. Stanley, a luxury mountain resort designed to bring wealthy travelers into the wilderness of Colorado. More than a century later, it's famous for something Stanley probably never could have imagined. Ghost. Ooh. Room 217. Elizabeth Wilson. Flora Stanley and her mysterious piano. F.O. Stanley wandering the halls. Unexplained footsteps, children's laughter, phantom parties. And of course, the night Stephen King stayed in the hotel and walked away with the inspiration of The Shining. Or for The Shining. Whether you believe the Stanley is truly haunted, or think every strange noise has perfectly reasonable explanation, there's no denying one thing. The Stanley Hotel has one hell of a story. And perhaps that's the scariest part. Because sometimes you don't need to see a ghost. Sometimes all you need is an old hotel, a dark hallway, and the feeling that you're not completely alone. So, ghouls and gals, what do you think? Is the Stanley Hotel actually haunted? Or is its reputation simply the results of more than a century of stories, legends, and imagination? Um, Let us know what you think, and if you ever stay at the Stanley, maybe don't forget to check who's standing behind you before you turn out the lights. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the ghost check you out before you're ready.
All right, it looks
Don't
like
we
my
wish?
mic is cooperating with us right now, so I no longer have to get very homosexually close to Carly with her mic. This isn't that kind of video. Okay, Alice Orca reading time. You know how it works. I shuffle the cards, I pull some cards. That's your unethical life advice for the episode. Also, let me know what you guys think about this little segment because I want to know if you guys actually love this part or not. Now, all right, you know how it works. I'm gonna shuffle, I'm gonna pull, and you're gonna listen. Carly, cue the shuffling music.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Alrighty, so you guys got the star in reverse. No, not in reverse. Upright. The moon in reverse. And the ace of pentacles in upright. So, when I think of the star upright, it represents hope, calmness, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omens, and revenation or rejuvenation. So when this card pops up, it's normally kind of a reminder to have hope and belief in what you were doing. Also, just kind of look at things from a brighter light. Now, the moon in reverse normally means some sort of like release. Okay, when I think of the moon, like the moon upright can represent new moon and the waxing moon all the way up to a full moon. So that's normally when you plant the new moon's normally when you plant your seeds, whenever you start your goals, and then the full moon is when it comes to a full kind of result. So you're growing because the waxing moon gets bigger, right? So you're growing with the moon. That represents upright, but reverse normally means from a full moon to a waning moon to a new moon, which is normally the letting go of something. So like normally on a full moon, what I do is I say what I want to let go of, and I manifest that to just be put back out into the universe. So say I want to let go of negative thoughts. I put negative thoughts and I release that. That's kind of the same thing when the moon is in reverse. You are releasing something. This is your cycle is starting to come to an end. And you're getting ready, you're preparing for a new one, but you have to let go of something before you can do that.
Yeah.
And then the Ace of Pentacles, abundance, manifestation, opportunity, new career, financial opportunity, new venture, and prosperity. So you guys are getting ready to jump into a moment in your life where you're having this moon in reverse moment. However, right after this moon in reverse, because like you have all these ideas that you want to do, but you have to release fear, you have to release your anxiety in order to step into this new beginning and this new manifestation stage. That's normally what I think of like ace in any suit, like the ace of pentacles, ace of points. The ace represents new beginnings and new opportunities, and pentacles just represents a lot of abundance and manifestation. So you're stepping into a new part of your life where you can now fully express your ideas, but you have to let go of fear and of anxiety and of like all of your negative thoughts in order to move on.
You know, that fits well with me.
Yeah, aren't you literally moving in like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Especially with your baby and James's work schedule, fitting all that moving in 2 weeks.
And then my possible new shift. Yay.
Just a lot of new things happening lately. I'm so happy for all of us. Like, I'm starting a new college. I'm going to my town's university. So, and I used to go to a community college. So this is gonna be a big jump for me. But I start tomorrow, and I'm actually pretty well. This will come out Friday. Today's Tuesday, so I'm starting Wednesday, or I would have started Wednesday if we're speaking in the future tense. And I'm excited. I'm just nervous because it's a big college, but like,
you know what you need to do? We need to make shirts, and we need to wear them so we can advertise our podcast.
Also, one of my buildings, I'm taking Spanish this semester, and the foreign language department, it kind of looks like an old castle. Get this, UNA's, it's called the Wesleyan Hall. It's haunted.
Yes.
By a Civil War.
It used to be a
Civil War soldier. Yeah, it used to be a hospital during the Civil War, but it's haunted by, I think, his wife. I want to say, I know his wife's been seen there a lot.
But there's a lot.
I think his wife was a nurse.
It's not just that. There's a little girl at a bookstore. Okay. If you're ever in Florence and when is their ghost tour usually?
Their ghost tour is normally every weekend in October, I think. So like 4 weekends on, like leading up to Halloween, and they have one on Halloween too.
So if you are ever in the Florence area and you're around here in October, I would advise you to go on that ghost tour. I mean, some people will be like, "Oh, that's a waste of money." Not really when you want to learn the history.
I probably wouldn't go again just because I've already been twice, and it quite literally is the same thing.
I've only been once.
It literally is the same thing. She has like
the thing is also we could also jot down stuff and actually
we can jot down, but like it takes you on a tour through downtown Florence because downtown Florence used to be a big Civil War site.
Ooh, maybe what we'll do just for the fans, we'll do like a whole video like doing the tour thing, so like people who don't come and visit can actually see and.
That could be a good idea. Yeah, maybe we can get permission from the lady who doesn't. Just say, hey, we have like a paranormal channel. Would you be good with us? Like exploring these places with you.
We need to get a good camera though. We don't need to do it on our phone camera. We need to do it on a good camera.
I know. But yeah, if you can't think of anything else you want to say, I think that pretty much wraps this episode up for this week.
Just don't be stupid and like follow your dreams, and like I'm doing, I'm trying to just one year out the other of assholes. So
yes, exactly.
So
well, as usual, you can hit us up at our email. There's a ghost in our closet. There's a ghost in my closet at gmail.com. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, but we don't really post on Threads that much, just mainly Instagram and TikTok. Be sure to hit those up. If you have any listener stories, please let us know. We would love to hear them. We would love to do a video with that. I'm also thinking about making a post on TikTok for our TikTok followers because we have like 50 followers on our TikTok now.
We need to do a dance.
We do a dance. Oh my god, comment down below what dance you want us to do. Just send it to our oh my god, that dance is so high energy. But yeah, if that was it. I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyways, as always, I'm Alice.
I'm Carly.
And we'll throw you in the next one. Stay spooky.